Welcome back to the Glint Standard. Today we are going to be talking about the personal side of agency life. I'm here with Craig Lloyd, who is the president and CEO of Glint Advertising over in Fort Worth, Texas. Has been for 20 years now.
Yeah, they're amongst other places, right?
Well, yeah.
A few here, a few there, and a few more to come.
DFW. I'm Ryan Noel. I am the vice president. Hoo-hoo, promotion.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
So,
First time you've heard that one today.
I know, right? Super exciting.
Congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you. So, we're both part of Glint Advertising. We're based here in Fort Worth, but as most people know who have been listening to us for a while, we're an agency that maybe thinks a little bit differently than most. And we really take the time to think about the things that I think a lot of agencies face, and I think it's exciting for our listeners to really get a sense of what does that look like day in, day out, right? So
yeah, and I think the perspective there is good too. So from a leadership side too, all the way down to if you're just working there,
Right.
what does it mean, and trying to give a little perspective on that piece of it too. Not one's right or one's wrong, but it's what does that really look like?
Yeah.
What makes sense?
As we talk about in our podcast, it's the old school mentality and the new school mentality.
Yeah, experienced and young is how I'm going to go.
Oh, is
how
that
about
it?
that?
Oh man, experienced and experienced.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
But yeah, so I think we bring very different perspectives to how agency life is in
Right.
general. And one thing that I wanted to touch on really today was there's as we start to work with clients and we're working on branding and new design and we start to get very heavily invested, especially working in an agency, right? And there's multiple people running around and multiple people touching it, and we're playing off of each other. We see it a lot in our brainstorming meetings where it's like, oh man, it's so cool. Okay, I want to run with that, and we get amped. We get invested in a lot of our clients' work as well and what they're doing, and but there's also a side of that where the agency grows, right? And from a personal side, we start to interact with each other, and it's like, okay, we start to have that
It can be a
growth
very
together.
dangerous game, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? First thing to always remember, it's a business.
Right.
Right? We're not building friendships. Friendships come out of it,
Right.
but it's a business first. It's what our clients care the most about, results. They're paying us for it.
Yeah.
We're paying salaries. We're taking care of households,
Yeah.
families. And when you lose sight of that and it becomes just, hey, let's go grab a beer, and it becomes that kind of thing, although you need some of that to really do what we do because of the type of work it is.
Yeah.
If it goes over the edge and the business is lost on that piece of it, the business will go down very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I'm, as a younger professional in the advertising space, started to see, especially as I was coming out of college, was everybody was doing, well, we got the kegerator back here, and there's beer pong over here, and and I was like, when do we work?
Yeah, we all have those things, right? We've got a bar. It's awesome. Yeah,
We do.
Just come join us. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
great. We talk about lots of crazy stuff sometimes, but you have all of that because it's a very stressful job too, right? And not just, I'm not saying advocating drinking and
No.
being an alcoholic,
But-
but you mentioned the ping pong, and we've got shuffleboard. It's things like that. You have to have things to help break the ice a little bit, the monotony and the mundane.
But
right?
do you think that starts to cross a line at some point? Because I mean, my understanding was, and you'll have a lot more insights than me.
Sure.
The old agencies, it wasn't like that at all. I mean, it wasn't playtime. It was you get in, you work, and you.
No, you came in, you worked, you got stressed out, you went and had lunch, had some drinks,
Right.
came back, maybe got some work done, went out, had some dinner, had some drinks. And at the end of the day, it's like, and clients join you sometimes they don't. But at the
Right.
end of the day, you have to get the work done. And as you're going through the day to day, some people are going to be very stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Some are not, depending on what their day entails. The stressed out people come in and see all this jovialness and goofing off, if you will. It's not going to go over well. They're going to be pissed, right? It's a natural thing. I've been there. Everybody's been there.
Yeah.
I've also been on the other side. We're having fun and somebody's stressed out. And you're like, dude, you got to chill out a little bit because there's a real thing called burnout.
Right.
And that will get you very quickly. And hopefully leadership is very aware when that comes into play to protect the people that are under you from damaging themselves, if you will.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of, I worked all night, or I worked till midnight, or I worked till 10 or 7 or whatever it is. No one else is here, so look how great I am. But how much work really got done?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
The TV was on, you're watching a show, you're sitting in the corner, you're doing stuff.
You're putting in hours, but
You're putting in
not
hours,
getting
right?
work done.
And this has happened a few times. I'm very insensitive to that kind of thing, right? And this is just me personally. I don't know about everybody else. But when you tell me, yeah, I've been 24 hours, I'm like, well, I could have got there in a couple. So I don't feel bad if it takes you 24. Get better, right? It's cold.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it that cold, but at the end of the day, that's the pathway I've had all night. I still have all-nighters, but I love what I do.
And I think from my generation standpoint right now, what we're doing is instead of going like, if it really took us 4, we're saying, well, it took me 2. Look how fast I am, right? And we'll stay up and we'll put in the extra hours. But to say that we did it shorter because we want to seem like we're more fit. It's the whole idea of like getting 4 hours of sleep. Look how impressive I am.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And then you come in tired and you're pretty much worthless that day.
Exactly.
Right? The hours thing is interesting. You brought that up too because you want to track time. How long is it taking to do things? And everybody thinks, oh, you're tracking my hours because you don't think I'm putting enough time of work in. Like that's absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
What you have to know is what is it really taking to get the job done? Is the agency billing enough to get the value out of it? Are we delivering enough value for the client to see the value paying for that?
Right.
That's what that's about. It's not about, are you working, you're in at 9, you out at 5? We don't have that business, right? It's, you work when it hits you. You get it done, you hit the deadline. Doesn't matter when what it takes or when you get it done, right?
Yeah.
You've got to deliver. And when you talk about the personality side of it, when you're dealing with things like that, you tend to become very close to your coworkers. Right?
Yeah.
On all levels, from entry all the way up to the top, and buddies, and you've got this common bond, and you are the agency, and you get behind it. We have Glintsters, we've named them, right?
Yeah.
Other agencies have as well, and that's why that happens. You become so tight. What starts to happen is now personal things start to blend in a little bit, which is natural. It's okay.
Yeah.
There can be legal ramifications for that if you're not
Absolutely.
careful, right? You have to know when and when not to talk about that. You have to be able to define, let's set work aside for right now.
Yeah.
Just talk one-on-one personally, right?
Yeah.
And set that stage so everybody feels safe, because otherwise it can get you in trouble. And when you become that tight, you start becoming friends. Well, then the challenges you have, like everybody at the house, right? Your baggage comes, right? And you're dealing with half your days dealing with that kind of stuff. You're really not working anymore, but you're here. You're on point. If people need you, you can get you, but you're not focused in type of thing. So it can be a really tough balance. And I'm not saying it has to be black and white. You've got to fix that perfectly because every day is a little bit different, right? There are some days where we just don't perform well, right? There are people just don't. It's just, we're people.
Well, I think that's we have flex hours. I've seen, that's what we call it, right? I've seen multiple variations of what we're doing where, it's work when you need to get it done. I think that's one of the biggest points I can always point out to a young professional or a young entrepreneur.
Right.
Like, you have to know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, how you work, what environment you work well, like all that, because it's easy to say, I'm going to put a pause on this because I'm not getting anything done and I need to go take a break or whatever. I need to
Self-discipline, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But even to say that, but then know what environment to throw yourself back into so you can actually get it done. Because
I know that you have to do that too.
Yeah.
You have to get back to it and get it done.
Right.
But if you're gonna, I gotta get out of here for a couple hours and just my head's not right. I'm getting nowhere. I'm just wasting time. Nobody wants that.
Right.
People don't want you taking advantage of it. And if you have that, that's a whole different issue. That shouldn't be an issue for anybody unless there's something else going on. Usually is when that pops up.
Right.
But you go, and I do it often. I'm like, you know what? I'm having a long lunch. I'm going to chill out and come here. I'm probably going to disrupt some things that are going on in the office. When that gets bad, I get kicked out.
Yeah.
But I also know when I get home, we've had dinner, everybody's in bed. I'm staying up and I'm working because I've got to get my stuff done.
Yeah.
But I know that's coming, and I know I'm going to do that.
And you know your environment to do that.
Exactly.
Like you're like, hey, I need to go outside, and I need to be in my spot that I
Right.
like to be in, and I know that I can focus. And especially from a creative standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to get the creative juices flowing. So you have to know where that happens.
I agree with you. I don't think it's just creative, though. I mean,
No.
thinking about business development
Yeah.
side, you've got to make calls. You've got to focus in
Okay.
on what am I going to say? How have I written the plan? Is my strategy on point? There's a lot of creativity in that, too.
It's true.
And when you need to focus in, having somebody just laugh or say a joke, and you hear that, it could totally derail where your train of thought is. But closed doors can be really bad. So I don't advocate closed doors in agencies. I just
No.
don't. It's counter productive to what we're trying to do, if you will.
Right.
So we don't have them. But if you really got to focus in, I'm in at 10, and I'm working on the patio. You know what I mean? You go to Starbucks. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I was gonna
find your
say.
place.
I
Who
love
cares, right? Just get it done. Everybody understands, and if everybody has respect for each other, believes that you have talent in the office,
Yeah.
and everybody is delivering, it's never going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not.
Yeah, and I think like as you said, mine's Starbucks, right? I enjoy I call it organized chaos. Right?
Yeah, I couldn't possibly work there. There's
Everybody's
no way.
there.
No way I could do it.
For really no good reason.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
no, yeah,
they're
well,
grabbing
yeah.
coffee that's way overpriced for no reason.
It's a good sales technique,
Yeah.
I've heard, for some people. If you talk loud enough with other people on the phone about what a great investor you are or whatever it is, so maybe somebody else will hear it. Hey, I heard you on the phone. And you can, you're an investor, and it doesn't really work that way. But
doesn't.
you see people doing
But
it.
now we have found clients
We have.
in restaurants
We have.
as we are on our personal time.
Yes,
so,
this is true.
yeah, Gloria's
What's
is
personal
always
time? It never shuts off.
well, that's-
Gloria's is good, though. I will give you that.
I mean, it's got great marks.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
we sound terrible because we've talked about
You sound like
drinking
you
about
drink a lot, doesn't it?
50% of the time here. But it's being able to manage that, and especially being in a leadership role and being able to. One thing that I've had to learn to overcome being now in the leadership role is bringing people back. Right, conversations get derailed, and
Yeah,
you're having just a real struggle because
Yeah.
everybody does get real, if you will, European and meet chummy with each other, but they do, right? And
Right.
It's, everybody gets that way, and they just have conversations. But part of leadership and running an agency is to be able to know in the times when to pull it back, being able to do that effectively so that you can get the work done, so that you can get focused in.
And the opposite side is everybody's stressed out and you see nothing's happening. You shut it down,
Yeah.
you take everybody out somewhere, and we go shoot hoops, roll a bowling ball, whatever that has to be.
Right.
Take a break. Like, you know what? It's going to be there tomorrow, and it's going to keep sucking if you don't do something about it.
Absolutely.
And that's just as important to see as the other, right? And that's kind of the key to all. At the end of the day, though, I mean, we're close. All of our employees are close to each other for the
Right.
most part, right? I mean, we know some deep, dark secrets. I think we do, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
You don't want to share them all. But that can be a challenge. You'll hear me say, I'm not your friend,
Yeah.
right? We're business partners, and we're trying to build something here. That's priority number one.
Right.
The friendship and the personal sides of it and things like that are an added benefit,
Right.
right? And for me, I'm very, very intentional with the way I think about things and the way I look at things, right?
Mhm.
You have to. Otherwise, it derails too easily,
Yeah.
right? So,
Well, appreciate your time.
yeah, absolutely.
Love having our conversations.
Conversations are good, yeah.
Always going about this. Well, thank you guys for checking back in with us. We'd love to hear from you on a personal side, right? Not just business. Well, we could have business. That's always good too.
We don't have friends.
Yeah,
We have enough friends, right?
But yeah, feel free to reach out to us anytime. agency@theglintstandard.com. Email is now set up. We'll be able to respond directly to you. Any questions? If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment below as well. We always read those and respond. So
Yeah, absolutely. And if you just want our perspective on something that you're dealing with or you think is pretty common, we'll be happy to tell you what we think. May even do a podcast about it. So
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you,
let
guys.
us know what you need. Thanks.